Welcome to From Creepin to Preachin. I'm your host, Renee R. White, a proud native Washingtonian, born and raised and still live here in the heart of D.C. I spent many years of my life in this incredible city, and it's not just my home. It's where my story began and where my passion for uplifting my community, especially the youth. This podcast is a space where we can have real, raw conversations about life, faith, and purpose, all rooted in the experience of someone who has walked these very streets and understands the struggles and the beauty of life in D.C. Hello, listeners. It's Season 3, Episode 22. Yes, Season 3, Episode 22. I call this God Interrupted Our Marriage and Led Us to Couples Ministry. God interrupted our marriage and led us to couples ministry. Yes, today's episode is powerful, and I mean it is powerful. It's a blessing with many couples listening today. This would truly be a blessing for those. Today we're talking about how God interrupted our lives, shut us down, awakened our spirits, and guided us into couples ministry and couples retreats that led strengthening our marriage. And listeners, let me ask you something right now. Have you ever experienced a moment where God slowed your life down and redirected your path? Sometimes we're moving so fast that God has to shut everything down just to get our attention. That's exactly what happened to us. There came a time in our marriage when God began working on both of us spiritually. Not just one of us, both of us. You see, when God begins doing a work in your life, sometimes he starts closing doors, quieting noise, and creating moments where you have to sit still. And if you know me, sitting still is not easy for me. I talk a lot. I move a lot. I stay busy. But during that season, God quieted my spirit. He created a moment where my husband and I began to focus more on our faith, our relationship, and our purpose together. And that spiritual awakening led us somewhere very important. It led us to the couples ministry. Now, let me tell you something. Walking into the couples ministry meeting for the first time can feel a little uncomfortable, a little intimidating sometimes. You're sitting in a room where people you don't know. Everyone looks happy. Everyone looks well put together. But deep down, you're wondering, are they really going through some struggles like we are? Because the truth is, every marriage has challenges. Every relationship has moments where communication breaks down. Every couple faces moments where they grow, they forgive, they adjust, and they learn each other again. But what couples ministry taught us was that we were not alone. Something powerful happened when couples come together in a safe, faith-filled environment and talk honestly about relationships. Not the perfect Instagram version, the real version. We started attending couples ministry gatherings, and during those meetings, couples who would sit together and talk about communications, finances, forgiveness, trust, parenting, intimacy, faith, and marriage. And what amazed me was hearing other couples say things like, we struggle with that too, or we went through the same issue, or here we are, and we worked through it. And suddenly you realize something powerful. Marriage is not meant to be lived in isolation. God designed community for a reason. During these meetings, we began meeting couples who became more than just people we saw at church. They became friends. We started hanging out, talking more, checking in with each other, supporting each other through challenges, and we would have conversations like, how did you handle that disagreement? Or how did you pray together? How do you keep your marriage strong when life gets busy? Listeners, those conversations helped us grow in ways we never expected or anticipated, because sometimes Another couple can give you their perspective you never thought about, different perspective. Now, let me tell you about something that truly changed things for us. Couples retreats. Yes, couples retreats. If you have never been on a couples retreat, let me explain what's that. First of all, it's not boring. It's not stiff, and it's definitely not just sitting in church all day. Couples retreats are actually fun, powerful, and healing experiences. You travel together, you relax together, you learn together, and you grow together. During the days, there may be relationship workshops and discussions. Couples talk about, communication skills, conflict resolution, spiritual alignment, how to support each other in their dreams, how to keep love alive over years. And sometimes those sessions, they get very real. People cry, people laugh, people realize things they never saw before. But then after those sessions, the fun begins. Now let me tell you something. Those retreats were so much fun. They were couple games, dinners, music, dancing, group conversation, and prayer circles. We would see couples laughing together, holding hands, reconnecting, and sometimes special things happening when you step away from everyday stress, from work, no bills, no daily routines. Just you and your spouse focusing on each other. And those moments help couples remember something extremely special, why they fell in love in the first place. One thing we learned during those retreats were the power of honest conversations. Sometimes couples would sit in small groups and talk about real issues, not pretending, not hiding, just being honest. And when we realized something very powerful, many couples were dealing with the same challenges we were dealing with. Communication struggles, learning how to compromise, balancing work and family, understanding each other's emotional needs, blended family. And when couples began sharing these experiences, something powerful happened. Healing began. Because when people talk about real issues, solutions start appearing. One thing I learned during the season of our lives is this: marriage is not just love. Marriage is growth. Growth means learning, and growth means listening. Growth means sometimes admitting when you're wrong. Growth means choosing each other even when things aren't perfect. And those couples meetings and the retreats helped us learn tools that strengthen our relationship. But the most important thing we learned through all of this was something simple but powerful. God must be in the center of marriage. Not the job, not the money, not the outside world. When couples place God at the center, something shifts. You begin praying together. You begin encouraging each other spiritually. You begin making decisions with faith instead of fear. And that changes the direction of your entire relationship. So now I want to talk to my listeners about something, because I truly believe many of you have experienced something similar. Have you ever attended a couples ministry or a couple retreat? Did you ever sit with other couples and talk about real challenges of marriage? Did hearing other couples' stories help you see your own relationship differently? Or maybe you met couples who had overcome issues you were currently facing. I love to hear your experiences, and I love to hear from you, because sharing stories, our stories, help other couples realize they're not alone. Sometimes God grows our marriages in ways we never meant. Sometimes it happens through prayer, sometimes through difficult seasons, and sometimes through the community of other couples who walk alongside us. Those couples ministries and the retreats gave us friendships, it gave us wisdom, it gave us laughter and tools that strengthen our relationship. And to this day, we still remember those memories and those moments because growth doesn't always happen alone. Sometimes growth happens in community. In this episode, if this episode touched your heart, make sure you subscribe to Creepin' and Preachin'. We're on iHeart, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget, tune in. Share this episode with another couple because your story may be the one that helps another couple grow. Until next time, remember this. Strong marriages aren't building overnight. They build through faith, communication, patience, and community. And sometimes God uses other couples to help strengthen you. Grab your copy of my book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. As you read along, all the twists, turns, and triumph unfold. You'll gain a deeper understanding of my testimony and life-changing lessons behind every story. Let's walk this path together. Your journey of healing and hope is just one page away. Let's keep this conversation going. I'm excited to hear how you're peeling back your layers and embracing your moment of God interrupted your marriage and led you to couples ministry. Also, make sure you visit my website, Creepin' and Preachin', for more updates, fresh merch, resources, and information about upcoming episodes. I'd like to thank my producer, McKinley, with Moving Emotion My Mac. See you next week.